oh, look at all the silliness and everything's silly and stuff. But that's a shift in perspective.
Yeah.
Like, if you go into it going, well, where's the serious part where, like, you know, the one dude literally picks him up and drags him to the edge of the cliff, you know, to throw the ring. Like, you don't have that because they're two different things. And people take, like, hot topics, not like the store, right? And they go and they just, like, they fixate on, like, well, my opinion is Lord of the Rings about it, you know, where another guy's like, well, my opinion is The Hobbit's about it. And it's just like, yeah, but they're both, like, amazing movies that are doing what they're doing, like, best. Like, dude, some of the scenes
I actually
in The Hobbit, like, the dragon scenes and stuff, here's a great example. Like, that's phenomenal. Like, that whole thing, like, that character alone and the way it goes, is it very different than what you would have saw in Lord of the Rings? For sure. Like, the tone was even different. He was a lot shinier, whatever, right?
Because, like, you picture, like, the Balrog in the Mines of Moria.
Which is just, like, darker.
Dark and, like,
everything's,
really,
like, gritty and, like, whatever,
gritty,
right?
But then, and then you see the dragon, and that's the thing. I think, it's supposed to be a little more fantastical. And, you know, like, they're getting knocked around and swimming through the oceans of gold and stuff like that, right? Like,
right?
And you know what? I will give merit to different types of media that way, because, like, listen, you can't please everybody with any one single type of media, but you also can't create something that, you know, encompasses all of those kinds of media, right? Like, even, like, when you look at, like, old shows, like when I was a kid, you know, like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. You know, I know a whole lot of people that are, like, even to this day, you know, being as old as we are, they still love Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, yeah.
But, like,
for sure,
to be fair, like, I mean, most of Dragon Ball Z is just mindless crap. I enjoyed it as a kid. But, like, you know, you spend 3 episodes of one guy standing there powering up, just going, before,
that was the best part.
But that's the thing, you know, like, and then, you know, people like my dad is like, he'd watch me watching the show, and he's like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, how are you entertained by this? You know, and I'm like, but look at him. He's like, pow! You know, like, it's cool. Like, it's fun. It's fun. It's just kind of like mindless violence, entertaining fun. It's not deep, really. Like, it doesn't have a crazy story that, like, blows your mind at the end. But then at the same time, some of, like, those really, like, deep, dark, like, psychological thrillers that really get you super invested emotionally and stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of them can be kind of dry half the time while you're watching it. Character development, stuff like that. Just, like, prime example I like to use a lot of times is, like Shawshank Redemption, you know. Fantastic movie. Absolutely love it.
For sure.
But half the time, I can't get any of my friends or anybody to actually, like, watch it if they haven't seen it. Because they're like, oh man, it's like, I think it's like 3 hours long or something like that, or like it's a pretty long movie, and like they're like, oh man, I can't get behind it. Like, I started watching it, I watched it for a little while, but like nothing's ever really happening or whatever. Like, they found it boring and they didn't like it. Whereas I absolutely love it because I'm in it. You know, I'll watch it for the long haul. Whereas some people just want the immediate gratification, which is what Dragon Ball Z is, you know, or any of the Dragon Balls, I guess. But, you know, because that, you're not really waiting for some big reveal or some crazy plot.
Well,
most
of it's just
a
lot more
people fighting.
I guess it's like well, and then I guess there's an argument there about how you look at it. But I know what you're saying. Like, you're looking at one piece. One piece requires, like, a lot more attention, and it's a lot more like, there's a lot of depth into it, like a lot of focus is required. And then another piece you could, like, walk away and, like you said, 3 episodes later, oh, he's still powering up. Cool, I haven't missed anything. All right, I'm going to sit down.
Yeah. You don't even need to see half of the season.
You know what
right?
I mean? The fight lasts 30 seconds, and then you're like, oh, man. All right, well,
yeah.
I guess that was the show then.
But to be honest, though, like what I'm saying there is, like, you could actually use that same idea on, like, a lot of things in life. Like,
yeah, that's where I'm getting at.
You can't,
like,
view everything in life
through
the same lens.
Yeah, like, you have to realize that it's like, okay, this is a little different. Like this time around, it's like, or when somebody presents an idea, you have to, like, try to be like, okay, so you're thinking about it this way, like, okay, let me try and wrap my head around what that looks like, right? Because a lot of people, they're just like, well, no, but, like, I have an idea too. It's like, that's cool, man. But if you want them to have your idea, then you better be able to understand their idea, Because if you can't, like, one of you has to.
Yeah.
Right? And oftentimes when you get into a conversation with somebody who's like incapable of seeing like other people's points of view or what have you, right? You can't get through it to them anyways. It's it's impossible.
They've completely closed that door.
So it doesn't matter what you say. You can throw anything
like,
in front of them. You can be like, hey man, like here's how it works. Let me show you. I can even do it for you. You can do it yourself. They'll still fight tooth and nail, and because our beliefs, like bringing it all the way back to like the brain thing, our beliefs, we have to believe that our reality is real.
Yeah.
If we don't survive. So it's very difficult. It takes a very open mind to be like, okay, maybe I'm wrong, or like, okay, maybe I'm gonna like try something different here or whatever, right? Having that flexibility requires like a lot of like mental energy and like an ability to do it.
And
right?
and that's what I find interesting too, because like I understand, yes, we all live on the same planet, right? We're all still
Obviously.
here physically together, but at the same time, it almost seems like, in a sense, reality is kind of subjective, because
for sure it is.
You know, you got the big business mogul who's all about money, numbers, and all that stuff.
Totally.
And you know, he lives his entire life with this mindset, you know, he's over here. Yep. But then on the other side of the thing, you know, you got like Tibetan monks, you know, with a vow of silence for 20 years or something, or like, you know, they live with absolutely nothing. They're just a spiritual person, and like their entire worlds like don't even mesh unless somebody like decides to start a war or something and they're knocking on your door. But that's the thing, is like we can all essentially live in our own version of reality while sharing a space, which makes it hard for a lot.
Well, which is what we're doing.
Well, that's the thing. But it makes it hard for a lot of people to actually, you know, come full circle and start to understand one another's, because they're stuck in their reality. You know, they don't have the doors open. They're not willing to consider somebody else's opinions and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the biggest detriments to society, really, is just because, like you say, people get so locked into their own ways and everything like that they believe that that is the only viable option.
You know where it gets super weird, though, is that not only do they get locked in and they believe it, but it's not even their idea. That's what blows my mind. It's actually. Like, 100%, man. It's like, no, you're following somebody else's ideas and rules. And you believe it because you see other people, whoever you believe are successful, you believe that what they're doing is right. But what's odd about it is like they're willing to take that agency away from everyone else who isn't whatever they are. Right? That's where it gets really strange. It's like, you know, it's like your idea is not even yours to begin with, but you've accepted it an idea. And then now you're also going to turn to somebody else who has a different idea. So they may even have an idea that they came up with. And you're going to be like, well, you don't know what you're doing. I know what we're doing. Like you said, the business guy, right?
Yeah.
I've been following this business mentor over here who's got 5 divorces and hasn't seen his kids in 17 years. And
he might have $8 million.
And let me tell you, he's the most successful man I've ever met in my life. You over there, who's just chilling and doing your thing, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You know how I can tell? Do you have this car over here? Do you have this giant house over here?
Do you have a mansion in Beverly Hills? Yeah.
Right. And then what's hilarious is when the system falls apart, now that individual who's been following that person and the system falls apart, and then they go, oh no, I didn't get my car, and like everyone left me and I'm whatever, and I've got nothing now. I've got nothing. And they're upset. And you're doing one of these, like, well, yeah, because none of those were your things or ideas to begin with. All you did was exactly what everyone else was doing, right? And you expected that you were going to get something. You put your expectations on a level that were not real. You said, well, this guy's a billionaire, so I'll be a billionaire. Have you ever met somebody like that? Who they like swear by, like, and don't get me wrong, I read tons of financial books and all that stuff. But it's like, they'll swear by like, if I do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thing, I'm gonna be rich.
Well, that's
and
like
you're
a lot,
just
like a lot
what?
of those self-help books and stuff like that, you know.
There's a lot of good
No,
self-help
I'm not
books.
saying that there's anything
Yeah.
wrong with them, but it's just there is there's a variety of them, right?
Yeah.
Some of them are like self-help, trying to understand yourself emotionally and spiritually,
Or
blah blah blah.
whatever,
That
right?
same kind of
Financial
topic
help
or whatever.
books,
But then there's also like the ones self-help books like this is how you're successful.
The ones that
written by the millionaires.
Yeah, the
and
ones
stuff like
that sell you,
Yeah.
like they're selling you the lie, and it's weird how many people like just believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just are like, no, it's real. Like this is a thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what blows my mind. Is how many people are so willing to like walk through fire because somebody else like did it, right? And they're just like, I'm willing to do this. Where like, the smart person's like, I'm just gonna like walk around.
Yeah. Just gonna enjoy my life.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I mean, I don't know if smart person's the right word, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's like, it's odd that like they'll fixate on it. They'll be like, no, like that's all that matters. I know because this is what somebody else told me. And it's like, okay, but like, are they really successful? Are they really happy?